Abdur Rashid Jawad Muhammad item 25F 705-786 appearances.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nora Ali on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Daniel Woodson, P68870, on behalf of Mr. Item, who is standing to my left at the defense table. Mr. Item, please state your name for the record.
My name is Abdur Rashid Jawad Muhammad.
All right, and you have Chief Bakinchik next to you, correct?
Yes.
All right, preliminary matters, if any. The charge, first of all, we're scheduled for exam. I have a felonious assault charge, felony, and then domestic violence, that we're not going to conduct the exam on because it's not a felony. Any preliminary matters?
Just a mutual sequestration order.
Any objection?
No objection.
All witnesses, with the exception of the officer in charge and the defendant, have to leave the courtroom. All right, so it appears all the witnesses are out. Any other preliminary matters?
Nothing further.
Ms. Woodson, any from you?
No, Your Honor.
Call your first witness.
The people call Miss Jamie Webbing.
You can come on right up here to the witness chair, please. Good afternoon. Can you tell me your name?
Jamie Woodson.
I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. All right, have a seat. I'm going to need you to keep your voice up a lot louder than that, okay? That's an amplifying microphone. The closer you stay to that, the better. Can you tell us your name nice and loud again?
Jamie Ubing.
How do you spell it?
JAMIEUEBBING.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Good afternoon. Could you please state your name again for the record?
Jamie Ubing.
Miss Ubing, I'm going to take you back to March 15, 2025. Do you recall that day?
I do.
And did something happen on that day that brings you to court today?
There was an altercation between me and my child's father.
Okay.
All right, nice and loud for me, okay?
Okay, sorry.
There was an altercation between you and your child's father.
Okay. Who is your child's father?
Rashid Item.
And do you see him in the court today?
I do.
Okay. Can you point to him and tell me the color of the shirt he's wearing?
Right there. And he's wearing a navy blue shirt.
And let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
It should so reflect.
Ms. Ubing, can you tell me what happened that day, starting from the beginning?
Starting from the beginning, things had been kind of heated for a while. Earlier in the night, around, I want to say 6 p.m., he had called the police himself because he said I was withholding mail.
Okay, and when you say he,
Rashid Item.
and was there an argument about this mail?
Yeah, there had been. He said that I was withholding mail. He was waiting for mail. I had given him all the mail that was in our mailbox.
So I'm going to stop you there. Where were you on this day?
I was at my home in Flat Rock.
Okay, and where's that home located exactly?
28317 Walnut Creek.
And that's in Flat Rock in the county of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you and Mr. Item live there together?
We did.
On the date of this incident, did you live there together?
Yes.
About how long were you living together?
It's been about a year and a half.
Were you two married at all?
No.
Okay. And so at the time that you're having this argument about the mail, where are you in the home?
I was in the living room and I had been in my bedroom. It had kind of gone back and forth.
And you said he had called the police. What happened after that?
He had called the police. They had spoke to him. They came inside and spoke to me. I told them that I had no problem with us going to the mailbox and seeing if there was extra mail that he said I was withholding. They said that they would go outside and talk to Rashid. And when they went outside and told him that I was willing to go to the mailbox.
I'm gonna object unless she was there and present for that conversation. This is
Were you?
hearsay.
Did you overhear that?
Yeah, the window was open.
All right, so that satisfies your objection, correct?
I'm still gonna object to hearsay, but yes.
Any response?
Your Honor, I can rephrase the question.
Okay,
So,
sustained. So I'm gonna strike that whole
After-
last, just for the record, I'm gonna strike that whole last answer.
so when the police came, did you speak to them?
I did,
And then did you observe them speaking to Mr. Item?
not with my eyes. I did hear them though.
Okay. And what happened following this moment with the police?
They said that they were,
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to the hearsay.
And so I just want you to tell me without saying what anybody said. So what happened after
The
the police
police
had?
told
Wait a minute,
me,
slow down. Finish your question first. What happened after the police what?
I can rephrase the question. I'm just going to ask a different question at this
Okay.
point. So what happened after the police had stopped talking to you?
the police had stopped talking to me. They did not come back and speak to me.
And what happened after that?
When Rashid did come back into the house, he was pretty hyped up, saying that the police couldn't do anything to him. He went and spoke to our son.
And so I'm going to stop you there. When you say hyped up, what do you mean
He
exactly?
was very agitated, excited.
Was he yelling?
He was loud.
And you said he went to go talk to your son. Who is your son?
Carter Eubank,
How old is he?
he's 10.
And he was in the home at this time?
Yes, he was.
Okay, and so what happened next?
He asked him if he wanted to play a game with him after he got back from the liquor store. My son told him, okay. Rashid had left.
And so how long was he gone?
He was out of the house maybe a half hour because the police had not left yet.
The police were still at your
They
home
were
this
still
entire time?
outside.
And you said, were they outside?
Yeah,
And so what happened next?
he came in. He started playing the game with our son,
When you say he, do you mean the
Rashid
defendant?
Item.
Yes, and then what
Um,
happened?
They were playing the game. He was still yelling and saying things to me while he was playing the game.
What was he saying?
He was just saying I was stupid and I couldn't do anything to him.
And when he started playing the game with your son, was this after coming back from where he had gone?
Yes,
And so around what time is it?
I want to say it's around 7 at this point.
And then what happened next?
He stopped playing with our son because he said he couldn't focus on the game. He told my son to get in the shower. Our son was sick. He took the shower.
And what happened after that?
I got him ready for bed and I went to the store to get him a Vicks inhaler because he was sick at the time.
And did you end up going back home after you went to the store?
I did. When I came back, my son was sleeping. So I decided that I was going to go to sleep at that point.
And so what did you do next?
I was in my room. I laid down on the bed. He decided to follow me in there.
And did anything happen between you when you were both in the bedroom at this point?
Yes, he was still agitated from earlier. He said that he ripped the sheet. I was laying on the bed and he ripped the sheet off the bed because he
And
didn't want me to
you-
lay on it.
Were you laying like on your back?
I was on my side, facing the
And
wall.
when you say rip the sheet, I mean.
Like he pulled
what
it
do you
out
mean?
from under me to have me lay on the bare mattress.
And then what happened?
And then I said something about why would he want to lay on the bare mattress? So I have tapestries on my walls that are held up by thumbtacks.
Okay, and what happened with those
The
tapestries that
one-
was significant?
The one that was above him, he pulled it down and the thumbtacks came out.
And what happened with those thumbtacks?
He picked them up and he threw them in my direction. They didn't hit me, but he threw them in my direction. And
Do you
he-
recall about how many thumbtacks there were?
There was like two or three.
And then what happened?
And then at that point, I wanted to leave the situation. So I went and sat in the bathroom with the door closed,
And about how far is the bathroom from the bedroom?
maybe like 5 feet. It's
How
not-
long?
About 5 feet,
Okay.
not very
And
far.
what happened when you were in the bathroom?
I was in there for a few minutes, just on my phone. He starts banging on the door, saying that he needed to use the bathroom.
And did you do anything after that?
I got up and I went to go let him in the bathroom. He said he didn't actually have to go, that he does what he wants.
Well, so let me stop you there. At this point, when you opened the door, did he walk into the bathroom?
No, he was just in the bedroom.
Okay, and what happened next?
Then I sat back in the bed or in the bathroom.
When you say sat, where were you
I was
sitting?
sitting on the toilet,
And then what happened?
and he goes to my bathroom has two entrances. One goes to my bedroom and one goes to the hallway. The one that's in my bedroom, we don't use because the hinge is rusted. So we just leave it alone. He starts saying that he's gonna open the door.
And then what happened?
He comes into the bathroom. Well, he asked me what I was gonna do about it if he pulls the door off.
Well, I just want to paint a clearer picture. So is he in the bathroom at this point when he was talking about opening the door?
No, he was on the other side in the bedroom.
Was he yelling this?
Yeah.
And then what happened next?
Then he came into the bathroom through the hallway door, and turned on the sink and the bath and the shower, and then walked out. And then I turned it off.
And so what happened next?
He waited like a minute or two and then came back in and turned them both back on again. And I turned them both back off.
Was he saying-
The shower and the sink.
And so what happened next?
The third time that he came in, he was like, what are we doing in here? And
Did you respond?
no, I didn't. I
And
was
then-
pretty much quiet for most of this.
And what did he do next?
He starts shaking the leg, like the support leg over the sink, like almost like gonna break it off, and then turns the water back on both the sink and the bathtub, and then says that it stinks a little bit in here, and then
And then
grabs
what happened next?
he grabbed the can of Febreze.
Where was this can of Febreze?
It was on the shelf in the bathroom. It was like behind me.
When you say behind you, do you mean behind the toilet?
Yes.
And what happened next?
He starts spraying the Febreze. He let off about, I want to say like half a can of Febreze.
So how long was he spraying the Febreze?
I want to say it was like almost a minute, like fully.
Can you describe this Febreze can?
It's a red cinnamon Febreze and like an aerosol that continuously sprays.
Okay, and what happened while he was spraying it?
He was spraying, first he started in the air and then he sprayed it on me. My whole shirt, my chest and my back was covered, and then he sprayed me in the face.
So I'm gonna
I
stop
told
you there.
him, I'm sorry,
I'm gonna stop you there. Where on your body did he spray exactly?
on my chest, my back, and my face and my eyes.
Okay. I want to talk about your face. How did he spray you in the face exactly?
He just aimed it towards me.
About how far away was it from you, from your face when he did this?
We were fairly close. The bathroom's pretty small, maybe like a foot or two, possibly two.
Was he facing you when he did this?
Yes.
Was he saying anything to you when he did this?
Only in response to when I was like, I said, you can stop spraying me. You're getting it in my eyes.
And-
I'm sorry.
When, can you describe how he had sprayed it in your face?
He just motioned it like, because it was a continual spray. He just held the trigger down.
And what happened next?
He told me that I could use my free will to leave the bathroom, but he was blocking the exit. Where I was sitting, I was wedged the toilet and the bathtub, and the door opens in, so my legs were in between, and he was in the doorway.
And I just want to stop you. When he had sprayed your face, did it get in your eyes?
It did.
And were you injured?
My eyes burned.
Okay, do you remember how long it lasted
How long the spray lasted?
when it was on your face?
It was like a couple seconds.
And so what happened after that?
He stood in the doorway for a few minutes, and then once he moved, I left and I started getting my clothes on because I was in a nightgown and I planned on going to the police station.
And did you go to the police station?
I didn't. He followed, well, I didn't. I ended up calling them that night.
Okay, and after you called them, did they arrive?
They did.
Was this the second time that they had arrived that day?
That was the second time, yes.
And were you able to speak to officers there?
Yes,
Did you write a statement that night?
I did.
And how was your face after that?
My eyes were red. They were bloodshot. They were sore.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You said things between the two of you have been heated for a while. Is that because you were trying to get him to move out?
He had, but I had.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And the response that you got when you wanted him to move out was that there's an eviction process that you have to follow, correct?
That was
Yes or no?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Did you ever follow the eviction process or start it?
Yes.
While he was there, not since he's left?
No, since he's left.
Okay. How many times did he come in the bathroom that night?
3 times.
And you say you wrote your statement out the day that this happened, correct?
Yes.
When the situation was fresh in your mind?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Is that yes?
Yes.
So if your statement only has one time, that would be incorrect?
Yes.
Okay. You seem confused. You have permission to approach the statement?
Yes. Why don't you still have that marked, if you will, for me, okay? Even though you're not going to probably move for its admission. We'll still have it marked defense proposed number 1.
And for the record, this is a 2-page statement, well, 1 full page and 1 half page, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And
I'm sorry. I know she's standing
Yes,
closer to
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
you did sign it at the bottom, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you instructed to read before you signed it? When you make the statement, or were you just told to sign it after you made it?
I was just told to sign it.
Okay, so you didn't have a chance to review it, correct?
I didn't.
Okay.
You can retain that unless you're going to ask to move to admit or refer to it otherwise.
Oh, no, I just wanted her to review it.
Oh, I see.
She said she hadn't had a chance to.
I do see where I said there's twice on here that I've read already that he was in there. No.
Okay, so wait a second. She just asked you to review the statement.
Yes.
So you're going to wait for her to ask the question next, okay?
Have you had an opportunity to review it?
Take your time.
Yeah.
And there's only one mention of him coming into the bathroom, correct?
No,
There's 3?
there's
mentions?
2.
There's 2. There's not 3, correct?
There isn't 3.
And also in your statement, you say you let him in on one of those times, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And he said that you said that he turned the sink in the shower on, correct?
Yes.
By this time it's evening, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second.
Sorry, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so after he turns the shower and the sink on and goes back into the bedroom, presumably to get shower items, I don't know, you turn it off, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then he comes back in, according to you, and turns it back on, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you decide to turn it off again, correct?
Yes.
Now, this is someone that you said is agitated and someone that you've been kind of going back and forth with, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that prior to this, he was agitated that day, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So is it fair to say that you were further agitating him or being a little petty, as you said to the police officer when you said, you were being petty when you turned the water off?
Objection, speculation.
Any response?
She made that statement to the police. When
Yeah, I
she was
don't think
asked-
it's speculation. She knows what she.
She did ask, is it fair to say that he was further agitated?
No, I said, is it fair to say she was being petty when she turned the water off more than once after he turned it on? Given the fact that she said.
I'm going to
he was
overrule the
agitated.
objection. State your question again.
Is it fair to say that you were being petty when you repeatedly turned the shower and the sink off after he turned it on, particularly since you said he was already agitated? Yes or no?
No,
Okay, did you remember telling the police officers that you were being petty when you turned the water off and on? Yes or no?
I don't remember that.
Okay. And you said that before he sprayed the Febreze, he said it smells in here, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said that at this time you're sitting on the toilet still?
Yes,
Okay, so he reaches over you to grab the bottle of Febreze.
yes,
He doesn't strike you in the face. He doesn't try to choke you or slap you, although you're sitting in a defenseless position, correct?
not this time.
He doesn't do that, correct? Yes or no?
No.
Thank you. Instead, he grabs the bottle of Febreze, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you say he was spraying it in the air directionally, correct? Just all over the bathroom, correct?
When it started, yes.
Okay. And then you say that he purposely, after you said, okay, you can stop spraying now before you get it in your eyes, that's when he decided to spray it in your
No, I
eyes?
said it, he was getting it in my eyes.
Okay, but you said you told him you can stop spraying now before you get it in my eyes, correct?
No, I did not.
That's not what you just said on direct?
I
Okay.
definitely said,
Wait a minute. I didn't hear that last little.
I had definitely said that he was getting it in my eyes. I didn't say before he gets it in my eyes.
Okay. Maybe I misheard you. So at that point, you say he sprayed it directly in your eyes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At what point during that evening did you take your glasses off? Do you recall?
Yeah, before I had gotten into the bed.
Okay.
Do you have them on at the time of that though, correct?
I
I'm
believe,
talking about the time he was spraying the Febreze?
yeah, I didn't have them on.
Oh, you did not? have
No,
them
I
on.
did not.
And how long was he spraying this in the air before you decided to try to get up to leave the bathroom?
It was like some seconds, probably like 30 seconds, maybe.
Okay, so while he's spraying this in the air, you don't try to shove him out of the way so you can leave the bathroom? You're just
I
sitting
wasn't
there?
trying
Yes
to
or
put
no?
hands, no.
Okay, so you're just sitting there getting spray on you? Yes or no?
You could say that, yes.
Okay. One more. That day, you did tell the police that he doesn't live there, correct?
No, I did say that he was staying there.
Okay. And had you, while you guys were kind of getting into it, or it had been heated for a while, did you threaten to throw his clothes out at some point?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Never threatened to throw his clothes out?
No.
Okay. And regarding the sheet on the bed, isn't it true that you had taken the sheet away from him and then asked him how was he going to cover himself, at which point he took the tapestry off and said, I'll cover myself with this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No further questions.
You can't talk from over there. Redirect?
Briefly, yes. So when you wrote a statement that night, did you write about Mr. Item going into the bathroom?
Yes, I did.
Did you write how many times?
I mentioned it twice.
And were you truthful when you wrote that statement?
I was.
Was there a reason why you only said 2 times?
Honestly, in my head, it was a lot going on. I didn't recall. I did have an audio recording that I did re-listen to later after the fact.
And you provided that to
I did.
the
I sent
detective
it.
on this case?
I sent it, yes.
And so I want to talk about the sink in the bath faucet. Was there a reason why you kept turning it off after he had turned it on?
Because he just came in there and turned it on, and then he went back and laid in the bed. He wasn't using the shower.
And after you had told him, you're getting it in my eyes, as you said on cross, did he then spray it in your eyes?
He did that before. He had sprayed it, and I told him he could stop. He was getting it in my eyes, but he still continued to spray.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any other questions?
So you said that when he came in to turn on the shower and the faucet the first time and then left out, you were still in the bathroom?
I was still in the bathroom, yes.
Okay. And from where you were seated on the toilet, you can see the whole bedroom?
No,
Okay, so how do you know what he did in the bedroom if you're still in the
because I
bathroom?
could hear the bed when he lay
So
down.
you don't, when he came back into the bathroom after he maybe heard the shower and the sink not working, did you say anything to him at that point as to why you turned off the shower and the sink? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, no further questions.
After you told him that he was getting it in your eyes, he stopped.
He stopped spraying directly in my eyes, but he was still letting it off above me.
All right, you can step down. Call your next witness.
The people rest at this time, Your Honor.
Move to bind over.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything, counsel?
Your Honor, I would object to the bind over. I understand this is a probable cause standard, but I still don't think that this rises to the level of felonious assault. If anything, it may be assault or aggravated assault, but I don't think it rises to the level of being a felonious act. So I would object to the bind.
I know there's a case out there that says that an aerosol can constitutes a dangerous weapon.
I understand, but given the fact that they were in the bathroom and it's air freshener and he was spraying it, and she just said after she told him he was getting it in her eyes, he still sprayed because he said it smells in there, but he was no longer spraying in her direction. I don't think that that's indicative that he intended to.
And I think she pointed out, though, that he was pointing it directly at her, right? She said that a couple of times on the record.
She also said he was doing
Around there, but she also said that he pointed it at her and sprayed at her face. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Just that the charge here is assault with a dangerous weapon, which requires an assault and a battery, and that the defendant had the ability to commit the battery at the time, and then that it was committed with a dangerous weapon, which is any object used in a way that is likely to cause serious physical injury and death. The witness did testify that she had sore and red eyes after this, and that he directly sprayed it at her. And as for the case that you bring up, it is called, I have the citation here. It says Bender 124 MA 576 from 1983. And it does say that in that case specifically, an aerosol spray was considered a question for the finder of fact.
Yeah, as much as I have a hard time grappling it with whether it's likely to cause serious physical injury, he still was spraying it directly at her. And my recollection is that that's exactly what that case said. I'm going to go ahead and bind him over. I mean, I'm not real confident that people are going to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, but it is just a probable cause standard. And it's just whether or not there's a fact question. And that's why I'm doing it, but you might want to take a look at this. I mean.
To add one last thing, I mean, the Febreze can does contain a chemical substance, which again.
I understand. September 15th, I'm sorry, April the 15th will be your AOI date, sir. You'll be in the Criminal Justice Center with your lawyer. So I'm going to just make a note here, April the 15th. Jeez. And you don't have any objection to continuation of the bond, correct?
No objection, Your Honor.
Jeez. All right, so we got a 10,000 PR bond, bonds continued, same bond conditions, sir. April 15th at 9, you'll be in the Wayne County Circuit Court, Criminal Justice Center, and I'll continue your bond with the same terms and conditions. Anything else?
Just clarification, because I know that Mr. Item was afraid of violating bond conditions. He is allowed to arrange visitation for his son to a third party, correct?
Let me double check that. I did not set this bond, and did. I don't see any such thing in that regard.
May we amend the bonds?
Yeah, give me a bond sheet to.
To my knowledge, third-party exchanges are acceptable so long as the parties don't have contact, but anything outside of that in regards to custody or parenting time would just have to go through the family court.
Given the circumstances, Your Honor, my client was a little more comfortable that was written down versus just implied for his safety.
Yeah, we have no objection to that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and amend the bond. I did not set this. No contact with the victim except to effectuate visitation with the minor child. No contact with the victim except to effectuate visitation with the minor child. Can you two maturely figure out a way to handle that? Can you come on up here, ma'am? Is there a way you two can handle that? Your name again? Is there a way you can handle that? I mean, I don't have a problem to the extent that he's only calling and I don't have a problem if he's calling up and saying, can I pick up the child? And that's all the conversation's limited to. If there's a different or better way you want to handle this, I'll be happy to address that right now.
I mean, I personally wouldn't like the contact from him.
Okay. I'll just make a note, third-party exchange through relatives. Okay, so how are we going to effectuate that though? Do you have a mother in the area? Is there a way she can take the child, or your father, or do you have a father in the area? I want you guys to tell me here. I don't want to be a dentist.
Am I allowed to speak?
Yeah, but nicely.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. I just, the only thing I have about a third party is the fact that, like, how do we still know if we're in agreement to what's going on if?
No, the third party would be, instead of you calling her to say, hey, I want to get my son at 5, you would call the other person and say, can you ask her if I can get my son
Right.
at 5?
Okay, sure.
And then the third party can take the child to you. Is he good with that?
I don't.
You good with that?
I don't have a problem.
So do you want to designate the third party right now?
It would probably have to fluctuate between my mother and my father.
Or-
How's he, hang on, shh. How's he gonna know that?
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
We could just do his mother.
Okay, you good with that?
That's fine.
Your mother can contact her, okay? And you guys can be mature about this and make sure that this is done without any incidents, okay? Now, anything else?
There is a civil standby that's supposed to happen Thursday, so that Mr. Item.
You haven't gone over and gotten your items yet?
The first
I mean,
civil
I've stayed there
standby,
for 2.5 years.
No, I get it.
There was a police radio run, so it was interrupted. He was interrupted with getting.
You're not to enter 28317 Walnut Creek Drive in Flat Rock, but you are allowed one visit to obtain your personal belongings accompanied by a police officer. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go down.
He did though. He was in my house for about 40 minutes with police officers, and before the incident even occurred, when the police officers came the first time that night, he had already packed his stuff and put it all in the living room because he was going to leave until that interaction with the police in the first place. So when he came, he even had his cousin there, and he also took stuff with him.
Okay, but I'm gonna let him do one more, but you better be ready and don't make those guys sit around. They're understaffed as it is. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, that's how we'll handle it. Police, but only through the police. Go down and get your notice. Anything else?
No, you're right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Can somebody get in here, Mr. Berry? Is Mr. Berry out there? They're on what?